intern question. Paul.
So when someone's looking at, to spend $2 million and they want to either buy like multifamily or office space, considering that multifamily, generally, if you're managing it yourself, you're going to be getting calls from tenants telling them about leaky toilets, or this is creaking, or they're wanting to fix up the place. Would it be better to are there returns in multifamily better because of that, rather than just putting $2 million in office, where generally, my understanding, you don't have to deal with as much stuff in office spaces as much as you do from tenants in multifamily?
So the question is, what is better? I guess, because multifamily is more management intensive, do you get a better return for the effort?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Like, why would somebody do it if they get the same return and less? They get the same return but have more obligation as far as their time and headache and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first thing is, all right, so if you have office or if you have multifamily, you can hire a management firm, right? So that takes off the obligation. But I guess the question's more geared towards somebody who self-manages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody who's, an owner that is, spends $2 million, buys a, nice 30 unit, 20 unit, 40 unit apartment complex, and then self-manages it, right? So what a lot of people do or fail to do, is they don't calculate, so owners don't calculate the time that they spend in. So if you ask one of those owners that self-manages their multifamily deal, they'll say yes, absolutely, there is a higher return for the headache. And but really what they're doing, and when you look at their profit and loss statement, it shows a great return, right? Because there's no management fee in it. But really what you have to do is you have to calculate the time and the headache that as an owner, you have to calculate the time and headache that you're going through, that you're spending for to do all these, to perform all of these management obligations. And when you calculate for that, usually it comes out even. So it's really a preference thing. Some owners, there's pros and cons to the office versus apartments. And if someone has an extra bandwidth, or maybe they're retired, retired from their main career, or they just have extra time to spend, or they have a son-in-law or a brother that needs something to do, they can get away with self-managing and justify it from that perspective, and it makes sense for their unique scenario. But when you account for everybody's time and what's that's worth per hour, and look at the returns that way versus an office or something else that's less management intensive, it all sort of evens out.